Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you in whatever time zone in the world that you may be listening to this very episode of Beyond the Veil. So, whether you are making breakfast, you're getting ready for work, or you are back commuting or stuck in traffic, probably Lagos traffic or New York City traffic, or you're even deep in your feelings about someone special, I want to say welcome to my very fourth attempt in recording this episode of Behind the Veil. So I remain your host, Kelvin, and I am so glad to have you here. I'm always glad that you guys do pop in and have a listening to whatever I have to say, and I'm truly grateful in all honesty. So before we move on to what we're having today, let me ask, because it has now become a tradition. How are you doing? I trust that you are enjoying the fatherhood of God. I trust that you are allowing yourself to be his baby. That is what is important. I just trust that you are taking up the burdens, you are taking up the anxiety, you are taking up the pressure, and putting it at his feet. Trusting his guidance, trusting his provision, and yes, allowing him being your father. So, of course, I'm glad once again that you are here listening to me. So, before we go into what we have today, if you actually be following this podcast, you realize that for the past last 2 to 3 episodes, we've been having a conversation about friendship auditing, and the word auditing just speaks about evaluation. So, friendship auditing, evaluating the people in your life and making sure that your circle of friends is aligned with your purpose. So, because if we are being sincere, we can testify or acknowledge the very fact that people around us, people that we call our friends, can influence how we think, they can influence how we move, and they can, of course, influence our decision making. And moving down into what we have, which is romantic relationship, timing and romantic relationship. Of course, you realize that if friendship affects timing, if friendship affects our decisions, the decisions we make, the quality of decisions we make, how much more romantic relationship, how much more the person that will say, oh, this is my person, this person means the world to me, or I mean the world to this person. So yeah, today we're talking about timing in romantic relationships. And as we are going, the questions I want to ask is, are you with the right person? That is one. Or you're in a relationship because you feel good to be in a relationship, or you're probably in a relationship just to pass away time. And or are you just in a relationship because you guys are meant to be together, or you are in a relationship because you just want to be in a relationship, or are you not in a relationship? This is a question that came to my mind. Are you not in a relationship because you feel you want to have everything figured out at first before you ask that lady out, or before you ask any woman out? Okay, so the thing now is, timing is everything. If we are being honest with ourselves, timing is everything. A relationship that starts at the wrong time can, of course, feel like a blessing, but along the line it becomes like a burden. And love is not supposed to be a burden. Of course, love is not supposed to be a burden. So let's get right into it. Let's move. So first of all, let's talk about, how does a romantic relationship start? And if we are probably honest with ourselves, if we have observed, one thing we would have realized is that there is absolutely no template or formula as to how we fall in love. There's absolutely no template. There's absolutely no formula as to how people begin relationship, or as to how romantic relationship starts. For example, it could be an unexpected connection, right? You are not thinking about it. You are not acting in a way that you are looking for a relationship. Then all of a sudden, someone comes along your path, someone shows up, then suddenly you start catching feelings. And sometimes it could be that you just slide into someone's DM, just a very fine picture, you slide into someone's DM, alpha, then a romantic relationship begins. Or it could be that the person is a long-time crush and you guys kick off something, and yet again it could be that it is a situationship. You and this person have been going out for a while, you've been hanging out, you guys do things together, and sometimes, if not all the time, many people see you guys walking around and they call you couples, right? You guys are just hanging around. Then all of a sudden you're like, let's just take it a step further, let's just be official. So in other words, you just turned your situationship to a relationship. And to some, it could just be that, oh, you're just on your own path, you are growing, you are working in purpose, that you meet someone who is on the same path or the same page as you. They're not a distraction but the addition. Then boom, you begin a relationship. When it comes to romantic relationship, when it comes to love, there is no formula, there is no one way as to how it begins. Each and every one of us that probably been in a relationship before, or in a relationship, or through movies, you'd have realized that there's no one way, there's no two way, there's no three way, there's not even a 5-lane kind of 5-way kind of thing that people fall in love. And of course, love is a beautiful thing. I love love stories, I love love, and I am sure that many of us, or many of you do feel that way too. You guys love love. And to this someone, anyone who says doesn't love love, we need to check that person. Like, what do you mean you don't love love? Love is beautiful, right? Love is what's beautiful. And I don't get carried away by saying all of this. I don't want to get mushy. Oh God, have mercy. But yeah, did you know? This is just a thing that just popped up in my head. Did you know that our relationship starts is as important as the right time? Probably we're going to have this conversation in one of the episodes, because apparently this is going to be a series. This is obviously going to be a series, and I'm sure we're going to have a nice time together, right? So taking it a step further, what is the role of timing in a relationship? Why timing? What does timing play in romantic relationship? Now, if you've been probably following us since the inception of this podcast, and of course we're in season 1, you would have realized that there's one particular verse that I keep saying each and every time, and that has to do with Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. It's a common verse, it's a common scripture that says that there's a time for everything. Okay, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under the heaven. That's been like what I've been saying since inception, since episode 1. If I've been following this episode one by one, you'd have realized that it's a recurring verse. And timing, relationship timing. One thing I want us to know is that a relationship might fit right, but if the timing is off, it will create or degenerate to unnecessary pain. Think about it. If it's too early, or if you are still healing from a trauma, from heartbreak, or you are growing, or you are probably figuring life out, it could be at a point that just generates to unnecessary pain. Mind you, there are people that, of course, they are figuring life out, but they end up being in a relationship. And there are some people, they are still figuring out life, figuring out how their life is going, and they have no business being in a relationship. And this just speaks about dynamics of life, because there are times that somebody, they are still growing, experiencing growth, and they're in a relationship and it's the right time, and yet there are some people that they are still growing to, and they have no business being in a relationship. That, and it's so wonderful how life can be like this. Very wonderful. And yeah, it's just wonderful in a way. Those is dynamics of life, in all honesty. And timing, in all honesty. So if, for example, you get to meet someone amazing, and suddenly, instead of focusing on your journey, you are consumed by the relationship. As regards this thing, right, you are consumed by the relationship. It could be too late. You and probably the person had potential, but if the timing isn't right, it could be that maybe one of or both of you are even ready for the relationship and you entered. It of course will end in heartbreak. Now, if you've moved, on, they've moved on, you've moved on, of course there'll be emotions hanging in the air. And there are times whereby it just feels right. When you just cannot explain it, it's just the right time. You beat yourself emotionally, you beat yourself spiritually, mentally, you beat yourself. And in a way, God will just align someone that is complementing your purpose, that is complementing your life, whose timing align with yours. Like you just look at it and just begin to wonder, how did this happen? You weren't even expecting it. Why? Because the timing is right. So did you know that the wrong timing when it comes to romantic affair can affect your life? It could literally change the course of your destiny. And it's even surprising that medically it has been proven that there are some people that land in the hospital. There are some people that land in the hospital because of heartbreak. It could probably be heart attack at the end of the day or whatever. As a result of being heartbroken, they were served breakfast. And for many of us that do not know what breakfast is, especially to my non-Nigerian audience, breakfast is another word for heartbreak. So someone broke your heart. So it surely does mean that you've been served breakfast. So it doesn't mean the normal food you eat in the morning. Okay? So there are times that the person you may be in a relationship with, or you've been in a relationship with previously, they aren't necessarily bad per se, but it just didn't work out. And the pain of ending something that is meant to last forever, it really hurts as much as being in a bad relationship. This person is not bad, right? But this love could have lasted forever, but it didn't. You end up carrying that hurt. And there are times that as a result of that, it may lead you to settling with just anyone, just because of the experience you've had previously on your previous relationship. And there is a biblical principle to timing as regarding love, as regarding romantic relationship. One passage that I don't know if we've probably heard it, and if we probably heard it before, this is just like, of course, just a reminder, and is it verse from Song of Solomon. And many a times thinking about Song of Solomon, I could remember when we were little, as to regarding pickup lines, giving pickup lines to ladies. I heard of we guys would take pickup line from the Bible and Song of Solomon especially, and send it to ladies or to girls at that point in time. I never did because I never really understood it. But now I do understand. That does not mean I'm boss, but right now I do understand how you could literally pick up lines of Song of Solomon and discharge it in the right manner. You get the gist. I'm sure you actually do get the gist. But what I'm trying to say is Song of Solomon chapter 8 verse 4, and it says, "Do not awaken love until it is time." Love is powerful. Love is really a force, if we are being honest, because when love is awakened at the wrong time, it can cause more harm than good, and love isn't supposed to cause harm. Many relationships fail not because of lack of love, but because love was awakened prematurely. There are many people that just go straight to love and they didn't even develop friendship at the start. Oh, you aren't even friends with this person. You don't know this person's like. You don't know the person dislikes. You don't know what this person how this person rule. You don't know their ideology. You don't know their mindset. And you're moving straight to love. Remember, I said something that how a relationship starts is as important as how the timing. Important as the timing of the relationship. I beg your pardon. How a relationship starts is as important as the timing. Okay. The right love at the wrong time can be as damaging as you being in the wrong love altogether. All I'm trying to say is you do not awaken love until it is time. And one thing I want for you guys to know is that I am a firm believer of Isaiah chapter 60 verse 22 that says, "When the time is right, I the Lord will make it happen." The Lord is not just interested in our walk with Him as per going to heaven or spiritually. The Lord takes delight in being in the aim of affairs as regard everything that has to do with our lives. Okay, the Lord will make everything beautiful in our life. The Lord will make everything beautiful in His time, and that includes your romantic relationship. We need our person. There are times that we need our person. We are humans. There are times that we want to have our own person. There are times that we want to have someone that we can call our own. There are times that we want to have someone that we can share our burden with. There are times that all of these emotions are valid emotions. And it is important to also state that waiting can be hard, especially when these emotions are coming into play. Waiting upon God is very, very hard, like really, really hard, and it takes God's grace to help us. And if we are waiting upon God for a relationship, and are waiting for or upon God's timing, the question we should ask ourselves is, what do we do while waiting? Like someone said, what we do while waiting is as important as waiting itself. We're not just waiting in vain, but it's as important as waiting itself. While waiting, are you emotionally ready? Are you spiritually ready? So for those of us that are in a relationship, I want you to ask yourself this question in this episode or in this series that we are beginning on relationship. If your relationship were to end today, if your relationship ends this very minute, would you lose your identity? Would you lose your purpose? Would you lose your what, your sense of what? Or I don't even know the right word to use right now. Okay, because if it's not time, it might not, it just wouldn't end well. It just wouldn't, because the wrong timing sometimes just affects and changes everything. For those of us that are in a relationship, the person you're in a relationship with, are you guys aligned with purpose? Are you guys going in the same direction? For the scripture says that can two work together except they agree. And agreement here is not just, oh, we agree on certain things, agree on this and that, on certain principles. But the agreement here has to do with purpose. The agreement here has to do with calling. Because his calling has to complement our calling has to complement his calling. Right? They need to be like a coming together to complement each other. So if this person's vision is not aligned with yours, it will only create confusion at the end of the day. Because no matter how right the timing is, there needs to be a purpose attached to it. I'm actually jumping, like just going beyond what I plan on saying today. Because this particular episode is just to serve as a foundation for a series. And lastly, if this relationship that you are in, is it pushing you towards God or taking you away from God? Is it pulling you away? And there are times that many people say, oh, God is the one that said I should be in a relationship. If God that says you should be in a relationship, how come the relationship is pulling you away from Him? And even if it's God that said it, don't make the relationship your idol. Some of us are so consumed that we start to pull out of God, pull away from God rather. So anything that constantly pulls you away from your relationship with God, in my opinion, cannot be divine timing. Because when it happens right in God's time, everything is beautiful in God's timing. If it happens in God's time and the person is God's person, of course this person wouldn't pull you away from God, because God is aware. God is your father, right? God is your father, and anything that causes you pain causes him pain. He's not happy that you're going through pain. He's not happy that you're going through things that could have been avoided. I beg your pardon, avoided. Yeah, things that could have been avoided, right? But in conclusion, if I thought you wouldn't in any way learn anything from this episode, I want you to take home this. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 22, and it says, when the time is right, I the Lord will make it happen. So bro and sis, like I've said before, I know we don't want to hear it, but waiting can be hard for those of us that aren't in a relationship. So just because something isn't happening right now doesn't mean it will happen at the right time. Okay, so if you're in a relationship, easy, just calm down and ask yourself again, did I enter into this relationship out of peace or out of pressure? And when it comes to peace, I don't know if I'll probably be opportune to share this, but there was something Jesus said that caught my attention in the Bible, and He said, the peace that I give to you, not as this one giveth it. So which means that there is a peace that comes from Jesus, there is a peace that comes from the Word. So if you are in a relationship because you had peace, was that peace as a result of your emotions, or was that peace from Jesus? Okay, but notwithstanding, that's not why we are here. Like I've said, this is just the foundation for the series that we are going to have, and it's sure going to be a smooth ride. It's sure going to be a wonderful ride and journey together. So if you are single, to my single friends, single Pringle, if you are single, of course, you're single Pringle. If you're in a relationship, yes, you understand. I don't know what is wrong with me today, but like I said, this is like more or less like my fourth attempt of recording this episode, and I'm like, I just need to get this right. I just want to get this right, not because of the topic, not necessarily because of the topic, but I just said to myself, I need to be more intentional about this podcast, more intentional. I may not have the time, but when I do have the time, I should be more intentional. I should give into excellence. Okay, but before I end this particular episode, if you are single, remember this: do not force something that is not meant to happen. And if you are confused, please pray for wisdom. And if you are in a relationship, you also need wisdom. All right. So the right person and the right timing equals to something really beautiful. Put this in a sticker notes, gum it up in your door or your laptop or in a book or your wall, anywhere. That's somewhere that you would easily see it. The right person with the right timing equals something beautiful. Or put it this way: the right person plus the plus sign, the right timing equals to sign, equals to something truly beautiful. And to meet again by God's grace next week. Stay intentional, trust God, trust the fatherhood of God, apply for wisdom through prayer, and trust me, you'll be fine. So until next episode, bye bye.